Hello and welcome back to our class of economics. Last time we have studied the third chapter and we have completed its first topic, that is importance of agriculture in Indian economy. Now we are going to study about the features of Indian agriculture. So the first point is low productivity. Now we see the low productivity means productivity was extremely low in the compared to advanced nation. Now what is productivity? It's related to output per hectare of land. Okay, means whatever production is done within a hectare, and that when that is calculated according to that basis, the total production is also calculated. So we take out the total average of it. So it means we can say that the India's productivity was very low in compared to advanced nation. For example, we can say India was productivity was 3.6 per hectare of land, and in China was 6.8, Vietnam 5.8, and world average is 4.5. So you can see the world average is 4.5, and even the India's this productivity is 3.6 only. So we can say it is far behind the number. So we talk about the second point. The low productivity means this sign of backwardness. So where the productivity is low, we can understand that there is no agricultural development in that areas, or we can say that the agriculture is in a backstage, or you can say it's not grown up or not developed. Then we talk about the agriculture creates demand for industrial goods. It's very true that agriculture demands for industrial goods, as that agriculture needs different types of equipment which can be which creates a demand for industrial goods. And if the agriculture is backward, then it will lead to creation of less demand for industrial goods. As a result, what will happen? The industry won't be able to develop, and as a result, the GDP will also not increase with the help of agriculture. So now we talk about the disguised unemployment, means hidden unemployment. Now you need to understand this. What is hidden unemployment? Suppose a field of land is there, and suppose they required 4% on that field, but actually around 8 people are working there. So this extra people, 4 people, those who are working on that field, they are unemployed. Reality, they have got, means you can understand like this, they have got the employment, but in reality they are unemployed. Because if you take these 4 people out of these land, okay, if you ask them not to work on these land, then to the production or the productivity on that to be happened on that land won't be affected by these people. Suppose 4 required and 4 are working, and you added 4 more. So what will be result? Nothing. The production is not going to increase. And if you take out the 4 people, these extra 4 people, then the production is also not going to, or the productivity is also not going to be affected. So now you can go with the third topic, that is dependence on rainfall. Now see, when the India got its freedom, at that time there was no agricultural development, or you can say in the agriculture sector there was no development in that time, or it got its development. So because of that, Indian agriculture was heavily dependent on rainfalls. So if the rainfall was good, then the crop production was also good, and if the rainfall was bad, means there was no rainfall, then the crop production was also very bad, means productivity was almost negligible. You can say, understand that like that that productivity was too low, as it has to be. But in that time, that much productivity was there, that was also not grown up because of less rainfall. Then means, see, you can understand this, when this volatile or this situation is there, this fluctuating situation is there, that leads to less income or fluctuating income. That is called volatile farm outputs, or leads to volatile income. Means if that is not proper, so you are not going to earn anything, or you are not going to earn in a proper way. As a result, growth fails in these areas. or growth, you can say it is not stable. Then we talk about the fourth point, that is subsistence farming. Now, what is subsistence farming? It means which has to be grown, which is sufficient for the family. Means that is only production is done that much that the company that the family could be required enough. Means suppose the requirement, whatever requirement is there by the family, that to produce that much only. Then, and it is also not mean for commercial farming. Means that time people were producing only what is required by the family. They were not using it as a commercialization, they were not using it for the selling. Okay, and this type of farming means no generation of surplus. Where people used to do subsistence farming, there is no surplus. Means they are not going to sell anything, or they are not going to grow anything extra or produce extra which they can sell in the market and earn money also from it. Then we talk about the fifth point, that is lack of modern input. Now we talk about the modern input. What is modern input? See, what we are seeing that today, in today's time, we are seeing that HYV seeds, fertilizer, chemical fertilizer, pesticide, insecticides, these all things are there, and modern equipments are there. But that time when these things were not there, before the agriculture reform, these things were not there, and because of that lack of modern input, there was a low productivity at that time, and the poor farmers also could not use it, because maximum numbers, those who were in India, maximum number of people, those who are doing farming work or the farmers, were poor at that time, and they were not able to afford these modern equipments. So lack of modern inputs leads to low productivity and backwardness. Okay, now we talk about the sixth point, that is small holdings. Now what is small holdings? That means a small size of land for cultivation. Okay, so it is not a very big farming. Now with the what problems you are going to face with the small land holdings, you can understand with this. See, in a two ways, that use of machine is become difficult on that land. Means suppose if you are having a small piece of land, how you are going to use tractor or different machines on that land? So that is not possible, and it could be only used for subsistence rather than profit making. So you can only grow in that piece of land only for subsistence, means which is required for you. You are not going to get anything extra from that field or that land, because that field size is very very small. Now we talk about the seventh point, that is landlord tenant conflict. Now who is landlord here? So you can understand the person who owns the land, that is called they are called landowners, and tenant, the person, those who are work on field, or we can say that the farmers, they are called as tenants. Okay, so huge area are cultivated by the tenants who are not the owners of the soil, and bulk of revenue are taken by the owners, minimum left for tenant. Means here, see, the tenants are working on the land and they are getting very less amount or less revenue for themselves. Okay, so here mostly revenue are taken by the landlords, and little or no surplus is left with tenant for the reinvestment. What do you mean by reinvestment? Means they can use it further in the field for growing crops and all. Okay, now we talk about the eighth point, that is primitive technology. Due to small size, poor population, primitive techniques are used. What is primitive? The techniques which is used earlier. Means suppose we say we take the time of today and we take the time of 50 years back in the field of agriculture. Today we are using a modern equipment like tractor, harvesters and all, but the early phase, people were using cattle and all for plowing the field. So that is called primitive technology. So heavy reliance on cattle and manpower cultivation rather than the modern techniques. Modern techniques like tractor, harvester, combine, these all the different techniques which are used for the cultivation of land. Then now we see these features what we have studied, which we have studied now. The Indian agriculture leads to important conclusion that Indian agriculture is extremely backward, and despite the fact that is of significance important in Indian economy. So though it was very important in Indian means agriculture was, though it was very important in Indian economy, it remained backward. Now you can understand, if the main sector remains backward, then what will be the situation of the economy, means of Indian economy. See, the agriculture is backward, so the Indian economy also remains backward only. So these all for today. We will meet up with the next class. In that we will discuss about the problems of Indian agriculture. Till then, bye and thank you.